Mr. Simpson, in addition to the $25 administrative assessment and the $150 DNA fee, I'm going to sentence you as follows. Count 1, conspiracy to commit a crime, 1 year in the county jail. Count 2, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, a minimum term of 12 months, max term of 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Count 2 to run concurrent to count 1. Count 3, conspiracy to commit robbery, a minimum term of 12 months, max term of 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Count 3 to run concurrent to count 2. Count 4, burglary while in possession of a deadly weapon, a minimum term of 26 months, a maximum term of 120 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Count 4 to run concurrent to count 3. Count 5, the first-degree kidnapping with use of a deadly weapon, a fixed term of 15 years, parole eligibility beginning after 5 years, with a consecutive 12 to 72. That'll run concurrent to count 4. Count 6, first-degree kidnapping with use of a deadly weapon, a fixed term of 15 years with parole eligibility beginning after 5 years, with a consecutive 12 to 72. That'll run concurrent to count 5. Robbery with use of a deadly weapon, a minimum term of 60 months, a maximum term of 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections, with a consecutive 12 to 72, and again the enhancement because of the increased harm that the gun posed. Count 7 will run concurrent to count 6. Count 8, robbery with use of a deadly weapon, a minimum term of 60 months, a max term of 180 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections, with a consecutive 12 to 72. That'll be concurrent to count 7. The assault with a deadly weapon, a minimum term of 18 months, a max term of 72 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. That'll run consecutive to count 8. Count 10, minimum term of 18 months, a max term of 72 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections. Count 10 will run consecutive to count 9. Credit for time served is 64 days. That concludes today's sentencing. We are adjourned.
We need, now that he's been sentenced, it now becomes a post-conviction bail motion. I got it. Under Nevada NRS 178.488, we renew our motion for bail. Now that sentence has been imposed, we renew and adopt all the arguments made pre-sentencing and pre-conviction.
Okay, and you're joining. Both motions are denied. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Well, as you've just heard, Judge Jackie Glass has sentenced O.J. Simpson on a number of counts, but at least 15 years in the Nevada prison with the possibility of parole after 5, and has denied bail to both him and his co-defendant. A dramatic moment there in that courtroom, and as you saw, the family of Ron Black was in the courtroom, as we saw in the courtroom just now. Let me bring in Contessa Stewart and several legal analysts. Contessa Brewer, and our legal analysts David Schwartz, Michael Bryant, Jay Fahey, all in New York. Contessa, first of all, the surprise, any surprise as you've watched all morning what's been going on in that courtroom? Clearly, she did not buy the argument from O.J. Simpson or his co-defendant.
No, she didn't, and she was very clear that she did not buy Yale Galanter, the defense attorney's argument, that this was just an act of sheer stupidity on the part of O.J. Simpson. Another real surprise here, Andrea, you had O.J. Simpson taking the stand today and trying to explain to the judge what he was thinking going into that hotel room. He says, our stuff was being stolen. I went back to my family, and I know that there were family heirlooms there. I just wanted to get my stuff back. And these were guys who I considered friends, and I was ready to go in there and just reclaim my stuff. I didn't want there to be trouble. I didn't think I was stealing anything. It was a surprise to hear him say that, because we'd been hearing from his attorney, from other outside legal experts, that he didn't want to jeopardize his chances when it came to an appeal here. And we know his attorneys are going to appeal. They didn't want to jeopardize that appeal. So it was surprising to hear him explain with such great emotion what he was thinking going into that hotel room.
Well, she did not buy that argument at all, especially because everything was on tape. Let's ask David Schwartz, Michael Bryant, the legal analyst. What is the impact of the sentence? Obviously, he could have had life in prison, but 15 years, the possibility of parole after 5, is that the bottom line here?
It sounds like the bottom line, Andrew, but then there were some consecutive sentences in there as well. So we may be looking at a minimum of 8 years until he's eligible for parole. We have to do the calculations.
Yeah, we definitely have to do the math again. It is a little bit complicated here.
There were so many counts that had concurrent as well as consecutive sentences. Dan Abrams is on the phone right now, NBC legal expert Dan Abrams. Dan, you have covered this throughout. So in watching this denouement, how do you assess the sentence so far?
I mean, look, it's basically what we expected, which is that O.J. Simpson, and we do have to do the math. Remember, when you heard the word consecutive there, that means in addition to. Concurrent, of course, means can be served at the same time. So every time you heard a sentence there laid out by the judge, what was happening when the judge would say to be served concurrently means at the same time. So there's not going to be an additional sentence. You heard there sentence after sentence come down for O.J. Simpson. The minute the judge said that can be served concurrently means that'll be basically part of the previous sentence for the crime that we just talked about. So it sounds like, I think the other people we just spoke with are right. It sounds like at least a minimum of 6 years, because there was at least a consecutive there for a minimum, at least 12 months.
Right.
But it may have been more. I have to go back and recalibrate to see if it was 6 or 8 years. But the bottom line is that O.J. Simpson is going to be in prison for some amount of years, at least 6 years. And what's interesting is you listen to O.J. Simpson in court, and it is emotional, it is theatrical, etc., but it doesn't matter. The judge has come in already with her written sentence. She's thought about this, she's analyzed the law, and so there's always this difficult decision to make on the part of someone like O.J. Simpson. Do I plead? Do I express remorse? Do I try to somehow influence the judge? But in almost all of these cases, in particular in high-profile cases, where the judges want to be so careful to follow the law, they've already written their sentencing report. They've already made their decisions before they even hear from O.J. Simpson.
Dan, Ron Goldman's family was there. They obviously won the civil case, lost the criminal case from their perspective. What do you think is going on? You know these people so well.
Yeah.
Going on with them, knowing that for at least 6 years and possibly more, given how we figure out the concurrent sentences that she announced and the consecutive sentences that she announced, we know it's at least 6 before he's eligible for parole, and bail has been denied, which you would expect. What do you think is going on in the Ron Goldman family?
Well, I think that they feel a sense of vindication. Do they care really about this particular case and about O.J. Simpson breaking into some sports memorabilia dealer's hotel room? No. What they care about is what they view as vindication for the person that they loved. And they think that this is some level of vindication for what happened to Ron Goldman, because I can tell you from sitting in the courtroom during the O.J. Simpson criminal and civil cases every day, that was